The film opens in a quiet rural area where a search party is combing through the woods for a missing couple, Carrie and Simon. Along with them are two trained dogs who suddenly dart into an underground cave. Inside, the animals find a small pool of water and begin drinking. When they come back up, something is wrong. They stand eerily still, staring at each other. Later that night, locked in their cages, one of the dogs begins making a terrifying crackling sound. Their owner rushes over, only to discover both creatures have been horrifically fused together into a single monstrosity. From there, the story shifts to another couple. Tim, a failed musician, played by Dave Franco, and Millie, a teacher, played by Allison Brie. They're throwing one last party with friends before moving into their new house. Tim's bandmates Luke, Millie's brother, and Jordy encourage him not to give up on music, but his creative drive is clearly fading. During the party, Millie makes a playful proposal to Tim with an invisible ring, but Tim hesitates too long to respond, and the moment turns painfully awkward. It's the first sign of the cracks in their relationship. That night, Millie is cold and annoyed with Tim, while he apologizes for embarrassing her. When she falls asleep, he swears he hears her whispering to herself about how he couldn't survive without her. Looking across the dark room, he suddenly sees a disturbing vision: a pale, smiling woman crouched next to a corpse. As he hides under the blanket, the woman crawls closer. Then he jolts awake, realizing it was a nightmare. But the unease lingers. Despite the tension, they move into their new home the next day. Almost immediately, Tim notices a terrible smell in the house. Investigating the attic, he finds what he thinks is a dead rat. But when it twitches to life, he realizes it isn't just one rat, it's several, grotesquely fused together by their tail. At her new school, Millie befriends a fellow teacher, Jamie, who lives in the same area. Millie confides in him about her relationship struggles, admitting that she and Tim don't even know how to define what they are anymore. Jamie sympathizes and offers to show her around the town. Later, Tim and Millie go hiking together, hoping to reconnect. But a storm rolls in, and they become lost in the rain. Stumbling for shelter, they fall through the ground into the same cave from the beginning. They start a fire, huddle for warmth, and, just like the dogs, drink from the mysterious pool. That night, Tim recalls a haunting childhood memory. His father once forced him to track down the smell of a dead rat in their house, tearing his room apart when Tim couldn't smell it. Not long after, his father died, and Tim's mother suffered a breakdown, sitting in bed beside her husband's decaying body, smiling through tears. It's a chilling glimpse into Tim's trauma, which still haunts him. By morning, Tim and Millie wake up and discover their legs are literally stuck together by some kind of flesh-like substance. Tearing themselves apart is excruciating, ripping skin in the process. Somehow, they climb out of the cave and make it back home. At first, things seem manageable, but soon, Tim realizes he and Millie are changing. He feels physically tied to her movements. When she walks, his body jerks uncontrollably. Their intimacy grows disturbing. A kiss leaves their lips painfully fused. At night, Tim nearly suffocates when he finds Millie's hair lodged deep in his throat. Their bond is no longer emotional. It's becoming a terrifying biological connection. The tension grows when Millie spends more time with Jamie. Tim grows jealous, suspecting Jamie has feelings for her. One day, when Tim tries to perform with his band, he abandons them mid-gig, compelled to run all the way to Millie's school. They made out in the boys' bathroom, but in the middle of it, Tim discovers he can't pull away. The two cry out in pain, fuse together until they tear apart, only to be nearly caught by a student. Shaken, Millie visits Jamie to apologize for the chaos. He opens up about his own heartbreak and then tells her about a strange cult once active in the area. People who believed in rituals to physically merge with each other, becoming whole. Millie doesn't know what to make of it, but Tim later finds disturbing proof. Missing posters for Carrie and Simon, photos taken near their cave, and strange bell-like symbols marked with ritual carvings. He suggests to Millie that something supernatural is happening to them, but she dismisses him, saying he's acting like his mother, living with something already dead. That night, their worst fears come true. An unseen force drags them across the floor until their arms begin fusing together. In desperation, Millie uses a buzzsaw to slice their flesh apart. They briefly manage to separate, but the bond is only growing stronger. Tim decides to return to the cave. Inside, he discovers a horrifying sight. Human bodies fused to the stone walls, some still alive, writhing in agony. Among them are Carrie and Simon, no longer recognizable as themselves, but a grotesque, many-limbed monstrosity. Tim flees in terror. Meanwhile, Millie heads back to Jamie's house to retrieve her keys. There, she makes a horrifying discovery, a wedding video showing Jamie once as two men. The footage reveals a ritual where they literally fused into one person. Jamie appears and confesses he is the result of the cult's ceremony, and he hopes Millie and Tim will accept the same fate. When she refuses, he slashes her wrist, but Millie fights back, injuring him so severely that he splits apart into the two men he once was. Millie staggers back home, bleeding. Tim, broken and desperate, prepares to slit his own throat so they don't have to endure anymore. But as they're pulled together, he instead fuses his arm with hers to stop the bleeding. It's a moment of surrender, but also of love. Accepting that their bond can't be undone, Tim and Millie finally embrace it. They declare their love, dance naked together, and passionately kiss as their bodies fully merge into one being. In the final scene, Millie's parents arrive for Sunday dinner, unaware of what has happened. When the door opens, they're greeted not by their daughter or Tim, but by a seemingly normal, androgynous person, someone who looks like both of them combined. The movie ends here, a chilling, tragic story about love, dependence, and what it really means to be together forever.